Down Florida, they're talking
I
about
think
trying
George
to
is
do
planning on
away with
coming.
property
Okay.
tax on.
Go to service, that's going. It is
Oh,
eight.
yeah. So are you guys ready? I think George,
We're more than ready.
yeah.
I got a
And,
meeting on the mountain, so I almost didn't make it, but I figured I missed too many, so.
right, we will call the meeting to order, and this is the meeting of the Board of Assessors, Wednesday morning, May 13th, 2026 at 8 o'clock. And we're meeting in the Bethel Town Office meeting room. We do have a quorum this morning with all board members present. Before we start, as George is getting ready, we do have a request to add an additional item to the agenda. If you could just explain, Emma, what it is, and we'd like to see a consensus to add it.
It's an abatement request from, you guys approved a homestead back in January of this year, for Mark Ivanov. It never got applied to his account. What happened is it got filed in the homestead book without being approved by you guys, so it wasn't applied to his account. So he's asking for an abatement for the most recent tax year for the homestead.
And that's on Sunset?
Good question.
I think
I think
Mark,
it is,
I think you go up
but I'm not
Sunset, that Sunset Road is first house on the right.
We might be able to have that answer if we want.
I'll make that motion to add that.
All right, all those in favor? And that agenda item will be added under abatements, 6B. Thank you. And it takes us to approval of the minutes, and this is of our regular meeting we had on March 25th, 2026. Are there any,
I looked them over, they looked fine to me, so I'll make the motion to accept.
I just have one clarification, that's number 3. Under homestead applications, we indicate that Davidson and Leatherin with modifications to Getstuff and Leatherin. I would ask that we didn't change anything. We asked to make sure that their application was more complete, either the signature page or the town or such. So I would see if the word conditions is more applicable.
I would agree, I'll make that motion.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion with an amendment and a second. If there aren't any other questions, all those in favor?
I'm not voting as
All right, so with motion passes with 4 yeses, and we have 1 abstention due to absent at that meeting, Blake. Okay, continuing on. We are now at the homestead applications. We have 3 of them. W.H.A.T and Colbury. I guess we could take all 3 unless you have questions. If you have questions on any of them, we'll just pull that to the side.
I think they look complete.
The only thing that I just wonder about, where do they all come up with all these different fonts?
I know.
But, like the last one,
Oh, yeah.
the last one is, they sign it, I mean, there's no information at the bottom of it.
This actually here, they downloaded this from the state's website directly.
Okay,
These are the ones that we hand out here locally. These are the old ones, these are the new ones. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And this come from where, number 3?
Number 3, the state's website, revenue sharing's website, you can download a form there, and it's fillable, and then you just print it off and sign it.
Am I missing a page?
I think that's the second page of one,
No,
right?
there's 2 pages, one of them's got 2 pages.
Yeah, it's in the wrong order.
Page
See,
has-
these two should go together.
Oh, okay,
Page one,
okay.
page
That's,
two.
yeah,
Sorry about that.
Because that was like, at the last meeting, one of them, they didn't have this page, and that was the condition, that
Yeah,
the second page.
yeah,
never got
okay,
signed.
yeah. Okay.
But they do all look complete to me, and they look, Emma, they look appropriate, right?
Yep.
Right.
I'll make the motion to accept all three homestead exemptions.
I'll second it.
All right, are there any other questions, comments? This is on Colbury, Herbeck, and, I'm sorry, I'm gonna probably
Haight, I think.
mispronounce Haight. All those in favor? And the motion passes unanimous. Thank you on that. Maybe just as a matter of housekeeping, if there are updated forms, that maybe we could replace them on our local website.
Well, the one we're using could be adapted for what's online, is what you're thinking, so there'd be more uniform.
Yeah, I mean, if they have an updated form, just replace it with the old one, if that's possible. Okay. And now we continue on. So 4 veteran exemption applications, we have none this morning. 5 tax exempt applications, we have none this morning. Brings us to 6 abatements and supplementals. And the first one is A, and it's A. Stragatsky. And I'm sure I butchered that one too. And have Rob walk us through that one.
So, yeah, these people made a request to take out some additional land out of Tree Grove. So, I think it was 3 acres they took out. Yeah, but I don't think we have I got the request in the map, but the idea was, this is the penalty calculation for 3 additional acres to an already improved house lot. So basically 3 acres of rear land was part of the calculation. Take the rear land value, take away the tree growth value, and you apply a percentage against the difference to come up with the penalty. So $962 penalty. It's fairly slight, but it's just for excess land.
And they still have more land, they have enough land, by
Yep,
taking this
they
out,
do.
they have more than 10 acres.
Yes,
Okay.
plenty.
What would you say the valuation is of that 962?
1 second.
Okay.
Interesting, know what per acre as well.
Yeah.
It varies greatly from town to town, like somebody that's in the business, look at recent sales and that whole Missouri, no surprise, all more than neighboring town. I'm talking raw land.
No, get it for us later. But
I would guess if that's 3 acres, if these people haven't owned that long, or that amount would be quite a bit more.
Let's say 3 acres.
Oh, so it's 47 acres, it says on there, overall.
I think that's the accessory lot, is that 47 acres?
yeah, I didn't know.
I
if it
don't,
was-
that's what that 47.
No, that's the account number.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say,
Yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
it's
say, it
the-
didn't look right, is that abbreviation, did ACC?
I think it's the account number, right?
Yeah, all right.
Maybe we might want to put a number sign in. And then just FYI, Emma, up in the narrative, it says irregularity form, the April 1st, 2025. So just in the future, I think it's from.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
The area in red is what they took out.
They haven't owned that too long, I take
I
it.
don't think so.
Oh,
I
but
don't think
just
so.
judging by the amount, I mean,
Well, no, it's not that, it's the fact that you see how the red is shaped, they already have land out, so it's just excess, there's no house lot involved, it's just rear land. And even if there was, if you look at the shape of that lot, it's not a buildable lot. It's just basically taking out the roadway, so whoever's buying back here will have free access on tree growth to extend that road. That's what I believe the reasons for. And the penalties, I did this at home, so that's why I didn't have it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So the penalty is 3 acres of excess land,
yeah.
because they already have a house lot, and then 3 acres of tree growth. So the value out of tree growth, 5746, in tree growth, 932, $4,800 difference in value. They've been in tree growth for 20 years or more, so it's 20% of that 48.
but you've got a lot of road acreage there that's, no, that you're not growing trees on, what I'm looking at, is basically a road. If that,
Yeah, it's just this portion here. These are already out of
Those,
tree
yeah, these are
growth.
different lots. Well, again, some foresters, they have their woods roads, they keep those acres in tree growth, some foresters don't because they're transient. This one did not, so they were getting the benefit of being in tree growth for those acres, so that creates a penalty the way it did.
Well, thank you for running that down.
yeah, plus,
And we don't have a motion yet, right?
No.
So does anybody have any other questions on this?
No.
you see that's most of the road, though. That's,
Yes, but he's got but that must be just is that a railroad or right away?
That's just a woods road.
yeah,
It's a woods road, so it's
Yeah.
probably right away. I'll make the motion for the, supplemental tax. I guess it's an assessment at this point, right?
Correct.
Of $962.82 for map 01-039.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? And thanks for that clarification, Ron, it is a supplement. Hearing none, all those in favor? And the motion passes unanimous.
You decide it too, right?
Yeah, I think, do you have the clean copy, Emma, for signature? So now we come to the agenda item that we added, and this is an abatement request, and this is Mr. Ivernoff. And I don't know, do you have any material on that? Walk us through it again, and I think we had a question too.
Do you want?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Well, go ahead, whatever, whoever.
So, yeah, this gentleman filed for abatement in January of 2026. The board approved it.
Homestead.
I'm sorry, yes. He filed for homestead exemption January of 2026. The board approved it. We missed putting it on his account. So he did not get the benefit of the homestead for the tax year that we're currently in. So he asked that we consider that, giving him an abatement for the homestead amount, because he filed it timely and it was our fault.
And he's claiming that he lives there.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
This is his residence now.
Yeah, he filed his homestead application in 2024.
Yes. And it wasn't approved until 2026,
Six.
January 2026.
Because it was after he lived here a year. Is that it, or did we just not receive it until 2026? Because there was another.
Well, I think there was a
No,
couple
we
of problems.
received it, so with that one, it was accidentally filed in the homestead book. Once they're approved, we have a binder for them. It was filed in there before it came in front of you guys.
Okay, so we
So
never
it was
got
never
it.
approved.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's what I should have, you explain.
yeah, okay.
So I'll make the motion to accept the homestead exemption for Mark Ivanoff's property.
Second.
And issue an abatement,
Issue an abatement.
Initial abatement.
Do you know how much that is?
$221 and
I mean, if that
We
was,
have
if
a, we
that was
have
our
a,
fault, then.
we have a
it's
form
not.
for you guys to sign, like, 22780.
Okay. So you can put that in, take that into a motion. Is there a
Questions about it?
Did you want?
Second?
she's o-
Is there a second?
I'll second it, but did you
Yeah.
want that added, that amount in the motion?
Yeah, I think he's edited.
Yep. Then I'll pass these around, these are the clean copies, and I fixed that error, Michelle, in the
Oh, nice,
supplemental.
thank you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted for clarification, because it went in 2024 after April 1st, that the only eligibility for abatement is this current year and for FY '26. Okay, all right. Very good. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor? You have your own, thank you. Motion passes unanimous. All right, we're gonna continue on, and number 7, certified ratios, valuation updates, we have none. Brings us to other business, 8, and the A is Oxford County Board of Commissioners letter. And you do have a letter from the commissioners, and we also have the assessment letter as well. To add more, any more insight or walk us through this, Rob?
So I'm seeing this for the first time this morning as well. The county budget is down 2.1%. And then we do have, in this packet, will be the assessor's return, which is the next to the last page, that we will file at commitment. You have a copy of here, the board will sign it when we commit our taxes in September.
It looks like we went up around 35,000, is that right?
And that's what I was looking at right now. Because what they, on that last page where they're showing assessments sorted from lowest to highest, talks about, it says valuation all the way to the left, and it says assessment, that's the actual tax that the town pays to the county. And you see that our state valuation is $1,185,000,000, and the tax we're paying is going to be $1.2 million.
Okay, so I misunderstood that, so, yeah, it seems like she's gonna get what the increase is.
But as far as assessment, if you look, you are correct. So then if you go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th column from the left, 2025 assessment, our 2025 assessment was 1.24. And our 2026 assessment is 1.218. So it did go down a little bit.
20,
Yeah.
almost 23,000.
How does our assessment go down?
The assessment went up, but the county budget went down 2.1 overall, but then every year between the towns, their portion gets jockeyed based on state valuation. So depending on what our valuation did according to the state from last year to this year, compared to everybody else in the county, determines our percentage. I don't know if it's been, like I just looked, I don't know if it's been this way before. Bethel's now behind Newry in as far as.
Yeah, Bethel's number 2.
I'm surprised Norway.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, well, I guess you got Paris, South Paris, that maybe Norway's not as big as I think, but I'm surprised Norway was so low.
Because the Bethel and Murray, the only one's over $1 billion.
And try to sell a piece of land down that way to see what.
So just for clarification, our assessment did go down. Our Bethel's assessment went down.
Let's keep it in that.
1241 to
Let's keep it on that trend.
1218.
Right, the tax, right, the assessment is, right,
Yeah,
tax.
the tax.
But our valuation,
Right, evaluation did.
the
Right.
valuation did not go down.
Valuation went up.
Yeah.
Tax went down.
So our valuation, there's other towns in
Yeah.
the county's valuation went up more than ours as a percentage.
Yeah, as a percentage, right?
How's that gonna affect us in 3 years when we get our reevaluation done? We're gonna get
2 years after the reval, we'll see, because it's always, the 2026 state valuation is based on our 2024 commitment.
Yeah.
So when we do our reval, any assumptions that the state made by taking our local data and factoring up based on our ratio, that can be skewed a bit. Not so much, well, and we'll see, you know, the recreational property may change it. It's not gonna be as much of a shake-up as you see when a town's got waterfront, because waterfront outpaces everything else considerably, so we don't have that here, but, if the state's doing their job the best they can, they're trying to account for where our assessments are down here, and their valuation is supposed to be 100, they should be accounting for that properly, so, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's just something for the selectmen to keep an eye on, see what, so we're gonna get shocked.
Right, so, and just, the town's supported me as one of the representatives from our area to be on the Oxford County Budget Committee. And I've been sharing that information with the selectmen. If you want any information or a copy of the county budget, I'm more than happy to forward it to you if you can't download it. And you asked why the Oxford County budget went down this year. They seem to keep a lot of their department costs on par, but they received more money, or going to be receiving more money from the state for the jail. In previous, like last year, they received about, you're gonna have to double check me, about $200,000 revenue offset from the state for the jail. This year, they received over 900,000. So that contributed to the keeping it on par, decreasing a little bit. And that can change from year to year.
Can the county have an overlay?
I'm not sure how they work that. I'm not sure how they work that. Yeah, I can forward you the budget just for,
Yeah,
see
you can see.
if it's in there, yeah.
But there's some significant changes, if you look at some of these, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Mexico, their county tax is up 15% over last year.
Well, I own property down there, that's skyrocketed, it almost doubled down there.
Wow.
Property that sold a year, you know, in the last couple of years, it's getting up there. I'm not saying the taxes doubled, I'm saying the property values, you could have bought a house for 80 grand down there, now they're on the market for 250. So it's spreading from Murray and Bethel.
Yeah, find the next best thing. Yep.
There's a river, and it's technically waterfront, but it's not like swimmable, beach type, and is Androscoggin, I guess, whether it be Mexico or Bethel, whatever, it must be somewhat of a factor, just for.
I would expect it to be, if you're looking at, if you take an average house lot on just a town road somewhere, and then the next door lot would go to the river, I expect it to have a slightly higher value, but nothing significant. We have some riverfront sales, as I remember.
25% maybe.
I mean, it's picturesque. You could do some sort of recreating down there, but it would bring a small value difference.
Restricted as opposed to a pond, yes.
So what is that? I have a logistic question. They're requesting that this assessor letter get back to them by the 1st of September. And traditionally, we would meet the second Wednesday in September, which is the 9th. Do you recommend us signing it at a meeting before that time, or?
It's safe to do that. It's safe to do that, because once it's voted on at town meeting, I mean, like some towns will put this in the warrant article, that the county taxes here, not that we can't not pay it, but if that's the only hurdle we have, we could sign it at any time.
Like in August or July, when we usually meet? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Does that work?
Did you have a comment?
No, I was just gonna, I shook my head because we don't have this on the town warrant because the people don't approve this.
Okay, right, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's the school tax and.
So I should have had that, just,
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
think
do,
she's-
sometimes don't, because like I
Yeah.
said, they can't stop it, they
Right.
can't not.
can't do anything about
Right,
it.
right, they,
That's in taxes, you can't really stop it.
County, the county tax, and for us, the school tax
Yeah.
on our town warrant. If
so
there,
that's good news,
yeah,
that's good news.
are there any other questions? Otherwise, I don't see us having any action on this right now.
No, just an
They had
FYI.
a huge jump though last year, was it 10% or something like that? I can't remember.
The company got a big increase last year because
It went up so much last year.
I think the state did send us all the jail money, right? that was part
Tell
of
them, I didn't get whatever you wanted to sign.
it. We
Yeah,
got,
I
I think
we
we got
got-
two to sign.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
just
hold up
stop
here.
by there and do it.
So we're gonna move off of that. I have,
George, here's one that can be served.
For other
Pass down,
business.
please.
something to think about.
Fix my pen.
Rob and I had talked about this after our last meeting, because I personally didn't realize there were other options. And perhaps some of you didn't either. We'd hoped to have it on as agenda item to discuss, but maybe we can have it on the next agenda item. And that was the penny from the building review that we looked at the last meeting, where the first year, the building review, we had a net increase of $2.8 million in valuation, which converted to over $31,000 in additional tax. And what I learned is that there is, if you wanted to, do supplemental assessments on this. So I bring that forward just for discussion, maybe we should digest it. It would have to be done if that was something we pursued prior to commitment, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this would be, this is stuff that you found that was not on their building permit, so somebody added a deck, added a garage? Well,
Nothing
no.
like that, no.
Okay,
Supplemental, the only thing you can supplement is if in the commitment book, there is a 0 building value, and there was a building there. The law does not allow you to say, I'm assessing your buildings at $150,000, but we discovered you had a deck, a porch, and a garage, which increases to $280,000. You cannot supplement the difference between those two numbers. It would be a handful of properties that we discovered a building there that we had no tax for at all. We didn't levy any tax against the building. So it'd just be those,
so we have two choices, we have next April,
we just say, I get the feel of the board at that point, we're just gonna let bygones be bygones and go forward with it. And then after the meeting, when we were talking, it's like, well, something we should discuss, it can be done. There's a handful of buildings that we didn't have on the books at all last year, that we could supplement 1 year.
so we're, just so we understand, you're back charging them versus
That's right.
forward charging.
You could go 3, well, right, on top of adding that in correctly for this year, you can go back up to 3 years. The only challenges with that would be making sure that what we saw today was there 3 years ago.
Which is hard to prove.
That would be, I'd say, we could look at it, take the time to look at, if you had any notes in the code officer's visits, when certain, at what point some inspections were done and signed off of, if there was any occupancy permits that were issued, you'd be able to do that, so,
So are these properties that were built without a permit, or they were built and we missed it?
built and missed it. Most likely.
Because most likely,
Most likely.
we don't know why, presumably why they would miss it. I mean, just based at looking at the value, there's probably half a dozen, maybe. And getting clarification is great, but I would be interested in seeing if these values equate to a home or a building not having
Right.
been assessed, and then hearing what other details you have behind it.
Sure.
Was it, because you had mentioned at the last meeting, some of these may have been here since
There
2015.
was a couple, 3, 4 that were quite old.
Yeah,
My initial feeling, without really thinking a ton about it, is if we've missed it on a town level, it's hard to go back to people. If we're catching it now, I have a hard time going back to if it was a town, whether it's code enforcement. We had a lot of different code enforcement officers, you know, that came and went, building permits were issued and maybe not checked on and from the assessors. I have a hard time going back on people if it was a town error.
Well, this, couple of years ago, Paradise, somebody built a real elaborate house up there. And when they were finally working with the town officials, well, the builder said, well, they said they were gonna get the permit, and they said, well, the builder said he was gonna get the permit, no permit. And it's clear as day, and a substantial amount. Well, to me, I wouldn't have any trouble on a substantial amount like that. They expected to pay taxes, but,
They knew they had to pay taxes.
well, I know, and, you know, when it amounts to.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that got a permit and the town missed going out and catching it.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily
And-
talking about the ones that just building didn't get.
And I just like to see the impact before,
I would
we don't
agree.
have to make
I
a
would
decision
agree.
now,
I would agree.
but you've been paying taxes. Everybody's been paying, most of the people in this town have been paying taxes. I mean, I just would like to see what the impact is, and thank you for the clarification that it's, a home, not necessarily like a supplemental if they added a deck or something like
That's
that.
right, it's just,
Yeah, so-
again, if the commitment book had nothing on it, no matter what it is, even if it was just an outbuilding,
Yeah.
we can supplement that legally.
Yeah.
If there's the example, like, I've had a case where we missed a house in it years ago in Green, but in the commitment book, the guy brought in a shed to work, to have there for his tools while he worked on his house. We had like $1,000 shed value, we couldn't supplement the house because there was a building value in that commitment book. I'd be very undervalued, but you can't legally do that.
Right, Yeah.
So that's the line. My suggestion is if you decide to do it, I'd like to let you know which ones they are, and I think the fairness would be whether they got a permit and it was their fault, or if they did get a permit, it was our fault, we should do all.
yeah,
And you decide you wanna go back just this year or 3. Maybe 1 would be good, just to have something,
Yeah,
without
that's
trying to
what-
figure out, well, the tax 3 years ago was only a half-done house, and it would be hard to defend, I guess.
mhm,
But I asked the question at the time on that house I was talking about at Paradise, what's the penalty for not getting a building permit? And I believe the answer was, there's no penalty. And I said, perhaps they ought to be, what do other towns do if somebody tries that, either in an error or on purpose, as far as that goes?
And what most towns have, they have either double or triple the permit fee if it's after the fact. As far as our side of things, I'm more if we made a mistake, the town survived, we just bygones be bygones and move forward.
So it's actually 2 different things.
yeah, this is 2 different things, a
It
building
is really
permit, and if
It's an
they're,
ordinance thing
is-
that should be
well,
brought up in the future.
well, I think we have enforcement applicabilities, it would just need to be brought to the attention of the code enforcement
You thought
officer.
about going back 1 year, right?
Yep.
That's probably a
Yeah.
reasonable
Yeah.
way to go.
It's something, and that just,
And we don't even know how many this applies to yet, so.
no, I'm guessing 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah, no, I
And
think.
one of the biggest changes we had, there was actually something there was a mobile home there. There's a mobile home off and they had built a house, you can't supplement that because there was a building there. So, but I can take a peek at it.
All right,
Right,
that'd be
yeah, that
great,
makes sense.
that would be great.
Cause like abatements, you only can go back a year, right?
Well, we can only
We
go back
can
a
only
year.
go back a
The
year,
board could, the municipal officers can go back 2 more years.
the select board,
Okay.
we're
Okay,
municipal
so
officers
so
too.
the 3-year thing there, but it just takes.
That's
it
right,
takes
Yeah.
2.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay.
3 years, 1 year through the assessor municipal officers, the other 2 years through the selectmen's.
Yeah, I think if we look at the data, we can decide that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, yep. I just wanted to bring it to
No,
everybody's attention.
I think that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
So is there any, before we look to set next meeting dates, is there any other items that any members have? No? Good.
I'm good,
Okay,
no,
all right.
no. Oliver, just quickly, I've already had my crew up here, we've already done all of our spring work visits, we've done early this year, actually. So all we'll have to do before commitment is finish up with the mapping that we have and any other applications that come in before the 1st of April. Really not much for the board to have a conversation about, maybe we'll have a meeting in July.
Yep, that sounds good. And that second Wednesday,
July 8th.
thank you. And then just looking forward from that, we'd aim to have our meeting date where we would set commitment September 9th. I think. And then I guess we'll determine on July whether an August meeting is needed. Sometimes you like to run scenarios by us, so
Yeah.
it might possibly be an August meeting as well. And that second Wednesday is, we might as well set the date.
Yeah. And we could honestly, if it's all right, if come close to July, we really don't have much on the agenda, and we could push it, cancel it and do it in August, and have a more informed conversation about budget and what the mill rate might be.
Yeah.
It might be as well, keep that in mind.
Yeah, so we'll set those dates, and then depending on what we have for items from there.
Sounds good.
All right?
Michelle, I lost it. Never mind. It just blew it.
All right, we'll go slow, maybe we'll come back.
We have something to sign, correct?
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
2 things to
yeah.
sign on the
Oh.
roadmap at the moment, yep.
What is the budget, town budget look like now compared to a year ago? If it passed as presented, you got to that point, haven't you?
Yeah, I haven't seen it all in one line, do you have it all in one line?
Yeah,
Yep.
you want the total now? What is it you want?
Well, basically just increase, decrease, by how much or either way.
So, actually, it's $19,810 less on the municipal side. Overall, including county and, school, it's an increase of $258,183.
And it wouldn't be false to say that burden is mostly from the school budget this time?
The school budget increased by $300,891, and the county decreased by
Yep.
$22,898.
So that's where
No, the school budget worked really hard to keep it down.
impact on that, so.
So. in
Any
year-
other questions?
Years past, we discussed a little bit that anything that fell within the parameters of the board here, like, well, Sarah Tucker was working on some like stuff that needed expense money. And then for a year or two, nothing was said about even, the money appropriated for the assessor, which, we have something to do with hiring. So we were left out of anything in the budgeting process for several years, and maybe this year too, which I'm not screaming to high heaven, but I just wondered, Reggie had some inquiries, and I guess I did too, that might fall within our parameters budget-wise that we didn't know about till town meeting, so, I'm not just sure of our description 100% on stuff like that anyway, but I'll just bring that up.
Well, thank you for your comments on that. Yeah, we would like to.
When you hire an
Yeah.
assessor also, in fact, we even hired, and were involved in that part of it, but as far as the financial part, sometimes we were left out of any discussion, frankly. But we had some overlap too, we had 3 people that were on the select board, that were on the assessor board, so they were pretty well informed, but,
Is
But
there
it
a way
wasn't on the
to
agenda.
summarize what is being looked at for the assessor's budget, just to distribute to these guys, just so you have a.
So the only thing in the assessor's budget is the stipend. There is an expense line for travel if they go to workshops, or if they need manuals, we have money budgeted for that. And then we budget for the assessor's agent annual fee.
so it does come under this board.
Y-
See what I'm
yeah.
saying, if we didn't even see it or know about it, it's kind of.
Well, and there's also the mapping, the map piece, there's some components that are
Yeah.
here. I guess it's probably safe to say that there isn't anything unexpected, other than normal, in the budget, but you bring up some very good points, points that I have concerns with, to just be able to see what the assessor's budget is, and so the public can see what the assessor's budget is. And maybe you can voice your
Well, I
comments
looked
at the town meeting.
I looked at the town meeting, and I said, oh, this is what we're paying our assessor this year, and it was the first time I've seen it, and I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if we're being left out.
You make very good comments, and
It is detailed out, Bob.
we can, and keep it in mind for next year as well. Any other comments from the board?
No.
All right,
I make a motion to call a meeting.
all those in favor?
And makes it ready.
Passes unanimous. Thank you.
I got a 5-year meeting, can I sign these short ones?
Yes, you can, yes, you can.